Hey there guys, welcome back to Hosty Games and welcome back to our QPR career mode. If you're not all nice and caught up, then make sure you go check out the playlist, get yourself caught up, and then of course welcome to today's episode. Last time out we were given a bit of a rude awakening, bit of a wake-up call as to how well we were doing and how easy it is to stumble down the table to not particularly great results, see us down into 10th. Although it's pretty impressive all things considered, bearing in mind we're a team that's just come up through the promotion from the championship, and to be disappointed that we're in 10th place, I think that says a lot as to where we are at and how well we have been doing. We were sat in the heights of, I think, the top three at one point. I think we were like third or fourth, but a couple of results not going as we would hope, seeing us well and truly at the midway point instead. But we're, pretty comfortable right now. Obviously, a lot of teams in single digits, and we are in those double digits up on 13 points. So we're doing okay. 3 losses within 8, though, is a little bit disappointing. But today we're going to crack on through with plenty to do, a lot of games to play, starting off with a pretty big one. It's not happened for a few years now, QPR versus Chelsea, but it's going to be first against 10th, and it is going to be a tough one. But the squad will be nice, fit, ready, and raring to go for that game. So unless something pops up, I'll see you there. I don't often show, or sometimes I don't do the pre-match conferences, but with this being, a West London derby, QPR versus Chelsea, and a lot of history in this, this fixture. What I'm going to say is, can the squad keep it up? I think the squad will keep it up. I am optimistic. I think the squad will keep up. A top 10 finish would be absolutely phenomenal. Are we ready for the game? We'll play the game, not the occasion. I think that's fair. We'll play going out there regardless of who it is. We'll play against them whether they're first or whether they're last. The team's been flying. Well, we haven't been, so that's not entirely true. So I'm just going to say we're not get distracted because we haven't been flying. So they're lying to us. But let's crack on, and I'll show you guys a team. It's going to be the same 11. You guys know the 11 that we're going in with. There's no reason for me to not play this 11 right now. But you can see they're going to probably most likely be running that 5 at the back. They have signed Schick, who is a very, very good forward. The thing to bear in mind, despite it being a 5-back, it's not the most offensive in midfields because Kante's a stay-back, solid DM. Havertz is a cam, often plays striker for Chelsea, so not the most offensive midfield. Hopefully we can overrun that with our pretty big 5-man midfield. But before we jump into the game, let's very quickly hear from today's video sponsor. Do you need some more coins for your FIFA Ultimate Team? Then look no further than U7Buy. They're the cheapest and most reliable place to get your FIFA Ultimate Team coins. And if you use code HURSTY at checkout, you'll get yourself an extra discount. I want to say a massive thank you to U7Buy for sponsoring us. Don't forget that code HURSTY. Now let's get back to the video. I love these little extra cinematics. I do love that they add these in. I'd like to see them a bit more frequently. Not the same ones over and over again though. I'd like to see a little bit mixed up. But this I do like. I think this is a really, really cool addition that they do have these little cutscenes and things. Just that wasn't long, but it was just cool, small little short thing. But we are here at Stamford Bridge, as I said, first versus 10th in what is a West London derby, one that you haven't seen competitively in the league for probably coming up to nearly 10 years, I think now. I can't even remember, but fingers crossed we can come out of this with a pretty positive point or more. I don't want to lose this game. A point I would happily take against top of the table. 3 points would obviously be phenomenal, and that will be what we can try and aim for. We'll give it our best. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I am going to say that we'll go out and give it our absolute everything. So without further ado, let's get into it. Come on, you Ars. Ball out wide here to Willock. Going to look back and find Bellerin, and then try the overlap there. We do get it back to Willock here. He's going to have the beating of Chilwell, and we're going to try and just dink this into the box. It's going to go back post for Vega. Vega and Hutton couldn't climb up to it and get there, and they do get it away. But a good positive start. It's nice to see that we do have the beating of Chilwell with Chris Willock, but Sterling is going to be a very tough customer to come up against. Thankfully, we do have Hector Bellerin, who is not a slow lad himself. Lovely bit of play here. Fred with a beautiful ball to Chris Willock here. Chris Willock up against Koulibaly, who's pretty quick as well. But Chris Willock, oh, it's a great effort, but it is off the upright. It is going to hit the post there. It was a lovely ball from Fred. That pass was absolutely perfect, and the shot was very nearly perfect as well. Didn't quite pan out in the way that we'd hoped, finding at the back of the net, but it was a good effort. Really positive start, but it's still 0-0. Ilias here, going to try and take it past Koulibaly. Does so pretty well. Tries a little 1-2. The pass from Willock was very, very disappointing there. Very loose pass, but again, positives. We're getting the ball up the pitch, and we are asking questions. Oh, it's a nice bit of play here. Mount is out wide. Henry nowhere near his man. Mount's going to play it to the back post. And Raheem, the former QPR man, has hit the outside of the post as well. Both teams now hitting the woodwork, coming close, but not quite finding the back of the net. The space that Mount had there was worrying. We need Henry to really be on that. Otherwise, that is going to be problems with both of their wide players being involved. And thankfully, the post being involved, not the back of the net. Still 0-0. Oh, good interception there from Fred. It's going to drop to Ilias at the edge of the box. He's going to try and find Willock. He does. Willock up against Thiago Silva. Good block from Silva. Good block from Koulibaly. And then from Fofana. All three of the Chelsea centre-backs getting involved, getting in the way and saving Mendy from having to get his gloves dirty. But we do keep it alive here and then swiftly lose it. And that's unfortunate. But yet again, we're applying the pressure. We're looking pretty good, getting the ball up there and causing, causing them to think about what we've got to offer going forward. But 40 minutes in is still 0-0, and I'm not entirely sure how. Chelsea bringing this ball forward in what will potentially be the last chance of the half, unless we can win it here and take it forward ourselves. Really well stepped in there from Rob Dickie, and I've completely wasted that through ball. That's a real shame, because Ilias would have been away if I'd timed that ever so slightly better. But I didn't. I've wasted it. They're going to try and pump this one up there. Good header there from Fred. Referee, look at your watch, mate. No, okay. Chelsea are going to get one final attack. Dickie again stepping in really well. Kante on the ball. Chelsea being given all the time in the world here. Again, really well stepped in from Fred. And that is going to be half-time. I have to say, no one's really put a foot wrong. The only small thing I could say is that one chance where Mount was given the absolute liberty of that right-hand side with Henry being out of position. Outside of that, players haven't really put a foot wrong. Fred has been phenomenal in the middle of the park. Bellerin has done really well at keeping Sterling to minimal runs down the wing. Willock's been getting involved. Chair's been playing some lovely passes. A lovely pass as well from Fred. He did that fantastically well. And Dickie has really stepped up in the defence. So it's very evident to me that we're really matching top of the table here and really giving them a good game, giving them something to think about. We're going to stick with the same 11. There's no need to change things at the moment. Lecco might come on in the second half at some point for Vega, who's not particularly been involved. I have not really played down that side too much, but James is getting plenty of the ball and is actually working his way up the pitch quite a bit as well, which I think is maybe aiding to the positioning issues of Henry, because he's got two to think about. And if Vega's not back there sort of taking charge of one of them, then Henry's maybe caught in two minds as to who to go to. So if James is sitting high up the pitch like he is here a little bit, Lecco's pace will be absolutely problematic for him. So maybe that's something that we think about and we definitely consider at some point in the second half. Good tackle there from Henry. Just got to keep this chance to minimal problems if we can. Henry again here up against Mount and doing really well yet again. As I said, players really stepping up to the plate today and taking the game to Chelsea. We've really looked very sharp and a good chance to maybe counter here. I say that and I wasted pass, but just got to be careful and got to make sure we don't make any mistakes. Don't give them any freebies, you know. Fred going to get this ball out to Henry. Henry now is going to bring this forward. Going to play it inside to find Ilias. Ilias going to try and set away Hutton. Hutton gets the ball, finds the shot, and Mendy with a really good save. That could have been very problematic, but it really was well saved. We have made two changes. Vega and Ferro both making way. Lecco and Jimmy Dunn coming on. Ferro change mainly down to fitness. Ferro was a little bit tired. A little bit of stamina gone at the start of the game. The Lecco change, as I said before, one that was premeditated, pre-planned, with the pace that he brings and provides, with the possibility of James just trying to push up the field a little bit more than maybe sometimes he should. With the opportunity we could potentially get from that, we could get some decent chances to cause a little bit of mischief with Lecco on the left-hand side. So time will tell as to whether that ends up being fruitful or ends up just being a change that kind of happened. But yeah, best chances of the game so far. I think it definitely has to be said have gone our way. They've had that one chance for Sterling, but outside of that, they've not done anything. Technically, no shots on target. But Sterling's now leaving the pitch. Who's coming on? It's going to be, was that Aubameyang, I think it was? So like for like in regards to pace, but a striker over a winger. I'm going to assume that he will stay out wide. It does look like he's playing central though. Is that Schick? Yeah, Schick's been moved to left wing. Okay, interesting. Let's see how that plays out. Ball played out wide here to Chilwell. He's going to play it straight back. Schick now in the middle. Dickie, does step in well initially. I can't believe that. I cannot believe he's got to the ball before us. and found the back of the net in what is well and truly a very undeserved goal for Havertz. I have to say, I don't think they've played well enough to justify getting the lead here. I really don't. I don't think they deserve it. Oh, man. Havertz stepped in well from Dickey there. Bellerin didn't get to it quickly enough. The Trivela from Havertz finds the back of the net. And I have to say, I'm very disappointed. As I said, I don't think that's justified in the slightest. Howe's going to come on. That's going to be for De Silva. I haven't really got any other changes I can make. I'm going to bring on Laird. A bit more pace and fresh legs on that right-hand side to potentially try and get some more balls out wide so Willock can run it down the wing. But just under 10 minutes left, and it is very much, if it ends up being 1-0... Oh, Laird, my dude, you can't... Oh, man. It'll be an absolute smash and grab from Chelsea because it really isn't deserved. And that says a lot. Again, top of the table at Chelsea... And it feels very hard done by to be losing. That, I think, again, speaks wonders as to how this game has gone. We've just been very unlucky. Laird steps in well there. Let's try and stick with this and see if we can work on a counter. Look at the space here for Chris Willock. I brought on Lecco to try and find this amount of space. Instead, Willock's going to get it, and Willock is going to find the back of the net. He's going to get the goal that we very much deserve. It's such a shame it's come as an equaliser, not as a potential winner, but that is an absolutely huge goal to score. Very happy with that. Again, it's a shame it's at 1-1, and it's crazy to be disappointed that it's only put us at 1-1, but boy, that is a very, very well justified goal. Really good run, really good play from Willock. He really has stepped up this season. I think it's very, very evident that he's getting way more involved and putting the ball in the back of the net a lot more as well. It's very, very noticeable, but lovely, lovely goal. 1-1. I'll let you guys stick with me to see this out, as there is a minute of regular time plus however much added, which I imagine is maybe 2 or 3 minutes as a maximum. We will face 3 minutes as a maximum. We've got to see if we can at least get the ball. I don't know that we're even going to get much of a touch, especially if EA or the ref, the AI, get all the time in the world to create as much of a chance as they want here. Laird doesn't step up to it. Good clearance there from Jimmy Dunn or Rob Dickey. I'm not entirely sure who it was. But the main thing is it didn't find the back of the net. It is a full-time result of 1-1. And although it's not ideal, we'll take it. We'll take the point. Top of the table. I said I wanted at least a point from this. I didn't want to lose. We didn't, thankfully, but it is disappointing to have conceded when we did. It is a well-fought-for and well-earned point, but I can't help but feel a little bit, just a little bit disappointed with how well we played. But we'll take the point. We drop a place in the table, but it was very, very impressive to take a point against top of the table. I think in the grand scheme of things, you'd take that. You would take a point against the league leaders, especially as a newly promoted side. But our next game is up against Leicester, a team that are very much struggling. We've nearly got triple their amount of points as things stand in the season right now. And interestingly enough, if Man City win their game in hand, they've now got over Chelsea, they would actually overtake them in the table as well. So we've potentially caused a bit of an upset at the top of the table. But we will not worry too much about first, second, third, etc. Let's worry about us. Let's get to the next game. Okay, game number 2 of today, up against Leicester. As I said before, a pretty much expected team here for Leicester. Benacer is starting, and although they have goalkeeper troubles, I think, in real life with Ward, who I really do not think is good enough to be starting for Leicester, Alex Smithies is a very interesting starting goalkeeper here for Leicester. Now, ex-QPR player, absolutely fantastic goalkeeper, and probably deserved to move to the Prem a lot sooner than... You know, we're in 2023 in this career mode, evidently, but it's yeah, it's a really weird one. I would doubt at this point in career mode he's particularly high rated. I'd guess he's probably no higher rated than Senny, but time will tell. We'll definitely hope to test him. Let's go. It's always good to be home. Obviously, first game was away, but the second game and first game both in West London. But the second game, I have to say, I slightly prefer the venue, Loftus Road. Hopefully, we can get it rocking and bouncing today up against a struggling, Leicester City side. Fingers crossed we can come away with the 3 points. I think I would certainly expect it with how things are sat in the table right now and how the season is going for both sides. But you can never count those chickens before they've hatched. You just have to hope and pray that the boys turn up as and when they need to. And Jamie Vardy, probably not particularly high rated in career mode. Again, a season or so in, EA decide once you hit 30, you have to get worse and worse every year, apparently. But let's see if we can turn up against them and get the 3 points. Come on, you Ars. Bit of play here from Leicester. That's looking pretty positive, but very well stepped in there from Heck to Bellerin. Very calmly there from him and Rob Dickey to help us bring this one away. Now, De Silva, going to bring this forward. I asked for a run. I wanted it from Willock, but Hutton had made it, so I hadn't really looked at Hutton immediately. Probably wasted that chance by looking at Willock instead of Hutton. But again, I kind of expected Hutton to be the player making that run. Bellerin got to stand his man up, does really well, forces it backwards. Can we stop the ball from coming in here? Good step in again, this time from Ferro, and we do get it away. Ilias here, going to try and find Hutton. It's a lovely pass. Is he going to get there? Oh, he does get there. I was going to say he's just beaten by the defender, but it does end up finding its way through to Hutton. And Ilias Chair, from an almost impossible angle, finds the back of the net. He's got the glasses there, and boy, did he need them to find the goal from that angle. Beautiful finish. The ball from Chair initially to Hutton was fantastic. Hutton was really unlucky, I was going to say, because the defender sort of blocked the run a little bit. And if he hadn't, then I think it would have been a much clearer chance for Hutton because he'd have been away from the defence entirely. But Ilias taking matters into his own hands. Alex Smithies with a good save, but palming it straight to, well, not really straight to Ilias's path, who then finds the slightest of chances and gets the first goal of the game. Much better, boys. We started the last game with creating really nice chances. We just didn't convert early enough. This time we convert quickly. We convert early on, and it is 1-0. And just before we do a little cutaway for you guys, let's see if Ilias fancies a second. This time from an easier angle, but a bit far out. Still 1-0. Willock on the ball here. A little bit of step over, a little bit of skill to try and take the defender out of the situation. Does really well. Baffles Hector. Hector has no idea where he's going, but the pass from De Silva was not quite where I wanted it. I wanted a natural through ball for Hutton to run onto, but instead we've given Leicester a bit of a chance here to work an attack of their own. Back out wide to Hector from Vardy. Hector is going to probably look to try and get this in the box. He does. He plays it into Vardy. Vardy with a shot. Seny Dieng with a fantastic save, and De Silva with the most half-assed attempt at a clearance I've ever seen. And Tielemans climbs much higher above it. Clearly wanted it more. And De Silva, I have to say, really let the side down there with a poor attempt at a header. Really good save from Seny. But look, De Silva just doesn't really go for it. Seny, maybe you could argue, could have got back up and got to it, but it's not really the keeper's fault in that scenario. I think, honestly, that's poor defence from De Silva. We scored a lot quicker than the last one, but we've also conceded a lot quicker. It's 1-1. Vega on the ball. Going to set away Hutton. Hutton with a really good first touch. Opens himself up with a lovely bit of space. I didn't feel like I put too much power on it, but evidently I did, as it flies over the Leicester goal. It's still 1-1. I have to say, I feel like Hutton should be doing better from there, especially on his stronger foot. Henry with a really good tackle there, and then the pass, not quite the one. Chowdhury picks up the pretty lack pass. It would have been a really good chance to find all the way through to Hutton, but the pass was disappointing, and they're working it out to Hector quite a bit, up against our Hector in Bellerin, and it's an interesting battle, that one, on our right-hand side. Hector again on the ball. He's again played it inside. Again, it's worked inside, this time to Tielemans straight off the bat. It's a good save yet again from Seny Dieng. We get the ball clear, and that is going to be half-time. It's been a tough test, this one. It's not been an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. Disappointing to concede to the Yuri Tielemans header. Very good saves from Seny Dieng on 2 occasions. And some good saves from Smithies, but both times keepers make a save, falls out to another player and finds the back of the net. 1-1. Probably has to be said, probably a fair result at the half-time break. De Silva's going to make his way off as he's really not performed fantastically. Howard's going to come on and be a much more attacking option as a CDM. Have a bit more of a box-to-box work in there for us. So let's see. Well, I guess De Silva kind of is also that box-to-box role, but let's see how the boys turn up for the second half. Let's see if we can regain that lead and push on from there. Willock on the ball. Going to try and play it to Hutton. He does so again. Hutton makes that run fantastically well. That's 2 or 3 times. He's absolutely burst past the Leicester City centre-backs, this time on his right foot, and yet again saved by Alex Smithies. Dexter Howe on the cross. Going to try and put it in. It's a good area, that. Can Hutton, get out there? No, he can't. It's going to drop to Willock. Willock going to have to bring it down. Terrible attempt of a tackle from Marcel. And then Willock's going to have the effort. I think that hit Hutton. I'm fairly sure that got deflected, and it did go wide. It's a shame. Still 1-1. Fred climbing up really well for that clearance there to win that header. Oh, and the pass from Ilias was just too lackluster. Didn't find the through ball that we needed. And now, yet again, Leicester City working on a counter, something that they've infamously done time and time again in real life. They pretty much absolutely battered the Premier League that one time by working on the counter for most of a season. Seny Dieng. needed there, and boy did he live up to it. Really, really good stuff. Marcel is actually making his way off the pitch here for Nico Williams. It is going to be the first change of the game for Leicester City. Oh, I've moved him out of the way there. Oh my word, that was nearly absolutely terrible for us. Thankfully we do get it away, and Ilias Chair here bringing this ball forward. Look at that run. Look at that. Play the ball. Let's go. Chrissy Willock, mate. Through one-on-one. Hermoso nowhere near him. Chrissy Willock, mate. It's going to find the back of the net. I said it in the last game, and I'll say it again now. He is absolutely flying this season. This is the Chris Willock we need back in real life. A man who is a shadow of his former self right now. And this is the Willock we need to see, making these beautiful runs, finding the back of the net. You could argue I maybe should have actually stuck with the go to the far post, hit that finesse, but boy, it didn't matter. Chrissy Willock finding the back of the net, doing what Chrissy Willock does just before they do play that centre. We're going to take Hutton off for Jones. Hasn't featured in a hot minute. Lecco's going to come on as well. Ferrer again going to make way, this time for Ozzy Kakai. I know he's out of position as things stand, but he is actually being converted to a centre-back. You guys, if you know, you know. I'm a huge fan of Ozzy Kakai. I have been for quite some time. Real fan of Ozzy and what he does and what he provides for this team. You know, he's been here for a lifetime. Do you know what I mean? He's been here for so long. And yeah, I think for me, I want him in this series still. He is going to be our rotation option as a centre-back. We win that ball there. Well done to Fred, who today, I have to say, I don't think has really put a foot wrong. Fred has been truly phenomenal in today's episode. But just before those changes happen, have a chance here for one more attack before the changes need to be made. Dexter Howe inside to Hutton. Hutton is going to look out wide and find Vega. Vega's going to have a shot from the sort of wide angle there. It's well blocked by the defender. Willock into Fred. Fred to Hutton, who's getting so unlucky. He really has had a good game today. And, you know, from the two games, deserves a goal. It's been really unfortunate not to get it, though. Ball flicked forward. No, well defended from Leicester. Let's hope those changes happen soon, please, EA. Oh, asking you shall receive those happened with 10 minutes to go. A bit of a slide-in defensive tackle. I think I probably was a foul, but I got away with it. But the changes that I mentioned before have now happened with 10 minutes on the clock. Still 2-1. Ozzy steps in really well there, wins that ball fantastically. And now we've got to try and bring it away here with Henry. Did really well to sort of not lose it immediately, but passes it away. Absolute waste of possession. And Dickey, way too slow for my liking to react to that. Gave the Leicester winger far too much time to try and react and find the shot, and he did find the shot. Soyuncu coming on for Chowdhury. Will be interesting to see if Soyuncu sits in that CDM role, or if for some weird reason they brought on an extra centre-back while 2-1 down. Time will indeed tell. Good block there from Dickey. Much more alert to that shot. Whew, okay, come on, boys. Let's see this out. Ball forward here. Jamie Vardy going to try and get the beating here of Ozzy. Just about gets it out wide to their... I can't remember who they brought on now. Was it Williams, maybe? I'm not too sure. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you who's still on the pitch is Fred, who's absolutely been phenomenal today. I've said it once, twice, 3 times of Freddie, mate. What an absolute beast. He's been phenomenal and helped secure the last chance for Leicester, leading to nothing. Really good result, getting back into winning ways, which is what we needed to do. And I have to say the boys have really showed up today in 2 very contrasting games. One that really was a tough challenge against the top of the table, and one that was very, very much should have been much easier and more straightforward with how the things were looking. But again, we are a newly promoted team. We're coming up against top and tough Premiership sides. So it's always impressive, always important to pick up those 3 points. That's exactly what we've done today. Huge result. As I said before, very, very happy with the performance today. And again, I have to say I'm happy with both performances, despite dropping points against Chelsea. I think we really showed up and played a good game. We're up into 8th now, -1 goal difference still. That Man City game definitely hurt us a little bit with that one. But I have to say, if you said to me at the start of the season, after 10 games, we'd be averaging more than 1.5 points a game, I'd be very, very happy with that. You know, we've picked up just over half the amount of points available to us from those games. Obviously, if Everton win, we drop down to 9th, but like I said, to be in that sort of position is absolutely phenomenal. 17 points already is great. We're in amongst some top teams as well. Liverpool, United, Newcastle, Everton, 4, standard Premier League teams, and 2 of which absolute high flyers in the history of the division. Plus Newcastle, who, are no mugs themselves, but out of the frying pan into the fire, up against Arsenal next, 2nd place in Arsenal. See what we can do. Just before we jump into that game, however, we do have our next scouting report. Arlo Park looks truly terrible. Not for us, mate. Not for us. Nathan Davies looks like he could be decent. Good starting rating. I think we'll pick him up. He's 15. He's got time to improve. Ryan Dalton, get rid of him. Arlo Harrington looks okay. Elliot Reed, probably going to scout Elliot Reed just for another month just to see what he's all about. Probably looks like he's going to be a centre-back looking at those, like his height, his a couple of those stats. I'm going to guess centre-back. I don't think we necessarily need another youth keeper, so we'll keep these two scouted for now. Okay, another tough game. A bit of a weird one. They've got some really good players still in there. The likes of Erdegaard, the likes of Saka, the like of Jesus, who are all going to be very, very good rating right now. Then they've got Castillo, Gregera, Norton Cuffy, Trusty. They've got some players that are definitely like prospects rather than sort of set players here and now. We are a season in. Things could be a little bit different. We've made a change at our side, by the way. Lecco starting over Vega. Just been a bit quiet in the last games. You know, he's done a job, but he's not really stood out to me. So I thought, you know what? We'll mix things up a little bit. Let's give Lecco a chance. Let's jump into it. Our third game of today and our third game in London. This time venturing a little further north to go to the Emirates. Let's see how the boys turn up today. Going to be a tricky one. I mean, if they're anything like they are in real life, this is going to be our toughest game of the season. You know, it's absolutely high flying over in Arsenal at the moment. And again, personally, as a person who supports a championship team, I'm all about it. My granddad supports Arsenal. I've got a bit of a soft spot for them. So I'm absolutely fine in seeing the performances from Arsenal. And if they win the league, I'll be all about it, as I said. But let's try and ignore that right now. Let's focus on the career mode. Let's try and pick up another 3 points, this time against Arsenal. Come on, you Ars. Oh, Henry's picked up the ball in a really good spot here. That's Norton Cuffy trying to chase him. Go on, Lecco, mate. Make a run. Lecco, mate, you've got the space. You've got the pace. Let's cause some damage here. Lovely ball in from Henry. Lecco going to try and play a pass across. I wanted it into Hutton. He's tried to play it to whoever was running on the edge of the box. I think it would have either been Willock or Chair. I wasn't even looking at them because I was looking at the very obvious pass to Hutton. It's a shame. Bellerin going to play it inside here to Hutton. Hutton going to have to look out wide and find Willock. Back into Hutton here. He's going to turn. He's going to try and take it past his man. Going to have the shot. Very good effort. But an equally matched save there from Ramsdale. Very well caught. But good start, boys. Good start. Ball to Lecco. Into Willock here. Willock going to lay it off to De Silva. Into Hutton. Hutton got the beating of Ndicka. And that's a lovely finish from Harvey Hutton. He is well and truly one of our own, and this is his first goal of the episode, which feels crazy to say. I feel like I've been saying his name a lot. He's been getting chance after chance after chance. He's finally found the back of the net. It's almost like me giving him that number 10 shirt has just added that bit of pressure, and it's almost a little bit like he's been struggling like that, because I think since we've given him the number 10 shirt, I think this is only his second goal. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's good to see him find the back of the net. That is what is important. Lovely stuff. That's the start we needed. Let's now not do what we did in the Leicester game. Let's keep this lead. Let's keep it at 1-0. A clean sheet would be fantastic, boys. 25 minutes gone, and it's 1-0 to QPR. Oh, that's a good bit of play here from Arsenal. They've knocked it round really, really nicely. Smith Rowe getting involved. Plays it to Erdegaard. Plays it through to Gabriel Jesus. And Seny Dieng, despite having nothing to do for nearly 45 minutes, is very much alert to that first chance for Arsenal. Had to be as well, but it's a corner here for Arsenal. Saka gets the ball after a short pass from Erdegaard. Going to play it inside. Probably most likely he does. Good block there from Rob Dickey yet again. Jesus in and amongst it, causing problems. I've accidentally skipped the replay. Apologies there from me. It's a whipped cross in this time. It's going to be a shot from Emil Smith-Rowe, but it's a very good save from Seny Dieng. Again, boys, just got to stay alert. Now it would be a terrible time to concede. It's played a bit deeper this time. It's headed wide from, I think that is Saka there who's headed it wide. And thankfully, it does go wide. It's 1-0 still to QPR at the half-time break. The boys have very much been deserving of it. You can see 11 touches from Martin Erdegaard, one of the most, in my opinion, most form midfielders in the Prem this season. And we've kept him very, very quiet. That has to be said. Yet again, Fred has been phenomenal. I think my player of the half this half, however, has most likely been Jonathan Lecco. I think minus the bit of a naff header, he's been a real threat going forward. He's caused problems. He's been very, very influential, and I'm absolutely fine seeing him stick it out for at least the start of the second half. Let's go into it, boys. 1-0 at the break, 1-0 to the good. Really poor pass there from, I think that's Erdegaard, and really wasted from me. I was too busy thinking about what was going on rather than actually doing it. Regardless, 1-0, boys. A second would be lovely. I'd really, really like the security of a 2-goal lead. Oh, Arsenal playing it inside here. Saka to Norton Cuffy. Edge of the box. It goes to Jesus. Another phenomenal save from Seny Dieng. He's hit it quite close to him. You know, he's not had to dive particularly far or wide, but he's had to get himself in the way of it. He made himself big, and he made a fantastic save there. De Silva's going to try and play over the top. Norton Cuffy wins it, however. Can De Silva make up to it with a winning header? He can. He's going to play it to Hutton, who was offside. That's a shame, but yet again, what a save from Seny Dieng. He is... Honestly, when I was talking about halftime best player of the half so far, saying Lecco, probably should have thought about Seny Dieng with 2 very important saves in the first half and a third right at the start of the second. Mate, what an absolute beast he has been. Fair play to him. Come on, boys. Again, a second would be very, very helpful. Well stepped in there from Rob Dickie. He's done really well to win that and then keep it. And now I've got to just be careful. Play it back to Seny. It's not a good pass back. I didn't really have many options. The only other option, though, was kicking it out for a throw-in where I was. But let's mark the short corner because they're undoubtedly going to play it. Saka, very well tackled there from De Silva. This time, not what I wanted, but maybe I should have done that the first time. It's going to go out for a throw-in here to Arsenal. Let's just stick with this until we either stop the attack or make our own. There we go. That's what I wanted. Classic real-life thing. Play it off the player, win the throw-in yourself. Oh, poor attempt of a tackle there for me with Ferro. They're going to try and play it inside, and Rob Dickie, calm as you like, absolutely fantastic. Really well done there from Rob. He, like I was saying about Fred, and I've said it 1,000 times now, phenomenal episode from Dickie. I've massively wasted the timing on that. Could have been through there for a second, but I botched the timing for the pass through. But I've made changes. Bellerin, Willock and De Silva making way for Laird, Vega and Howe. I felt like it was important to sub Bellerin off. Obviously, ex-Arsenal didn't really touch on that before the start of the game, but I feel like he'd be given a bit of a standing ovation. Very good player for Arsenal. I think he was a really good servant to the club. And as long as there was no bad blood when he left, I don't think there particularly was, as far as I'm aware, when he went to Barcelona. I think he probably would have been greeted back with a bit of an applause and probably applauded off the pitch, I would assume. But hold on a second. Seny Dieng, I honestly love you, mate. Oh, it's a good ball through. Played in there to Jesus, but look who's there again. Honestly, Rob Dickie, mate, you have been truly phenomenal in this episode. And if you play like this every game, my dude, we are going to have a much, much better goal difference at the end of the season, because he has been so solid at the back. He really has. He's made such a difference today with his performances. It's out wide to Jesus here. Laird is beaten. That's not good. Guess who's not in the middle to defend it? Rob Dickie. And Gregera, who's a player I don't recognise. Apologies if he's some big hotshot that I don't know. My apologies. But this time the late drama goes against us. And it's going to be most likely points and honours shared between ourselves and Arsenal. Poor bit of play. Honestly, Laird's got to do better there. I feel like the physicality, he just absolutely lost that battle. I feel sorry for Seny because he's been phenomenal all game. And it's a good effort. He's it's sort of glitched through his leg a little bit, but that's happened for us a few times, so I can't complain about it. But do we maybe have a chance and enough time to maybe create a chance for a second goal? Nope, apparently not, because apparently that wasn't a foul from Erdegaard. The tackle from Saka was fine, but I feel like Erdegaard didn't get the ball there at all. I feel like he got just Ilias, but never mind. 3 minutes added on. Those 3 minutes have gone, but of course it's in the AI's possession. Thank you, Rob Dickie, because that would have absolutely finished me if they'd have scored that there. A very hard-earned point for Arsenal, I'm sure, but I feel, yet again, I feel hard done by. I've skipped this stuff, sorry. I feel hard done by. I feel like we deserved the 3 points. We probably could and or should have got a second, but we just weren't clinical enough in front of goal, and despite all the efforts to keep the clean sheet, we couldn't keep it for the 90 minutes, and Arsenal earned themselves a point. Again, with all due respect, we played against first, we played against second, and we played against Leicester, who were down in like 17th, and we didn't lose a game today. There's positives to take from that. Well, it's disappointing to concede late on, but sometimes it does happen, and sometimes it is unavoidable. unavoidable. But that is going to be where we round up today's episode. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do leave a like on the video. It supports me, the video, the channel, and the series out a whole bunch. If you're new, hit the sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. If you want to watch us on the live streams, it's Hersey Games over on Twitch. Link to our Twitch is down below, along with TikTok, where I upload some short content as well. And while you're down there, make sure you show some love to our channel sponsors. Thank you again for supporting the channel. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you soon. And of course, wash your hands.
Now his name is Thirsty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat, or say hello. Entertain, yeah, you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Thirsty Games, yeah, you already know.